welcome to this Friday, January the 12th edition of the Ringside Report. I am Ryan Young. Joining me, well, technically via Skype, but you can't see him. He's behind the camera. That is the king of controversy, Anthony Smoody. Smoody, it's Friday.
Hey, how you doing?
We decided to do it back to the normal way because you were kind of crowding my man space, okay?
Yeah, I'm right behind the Three Stooges right now.
Yeah, I know. What a picture. Okay, let's start this thing off. Hope everyone enjoying their Friday. The first real full work week back since the holidays, so let's start this thing off by recapping Smackdown. AJ Styles comes out, starts talking about how he has to defend his title against two men at the Royal Rumble. Then them two men come out, being Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Shane McMahon comes out and says, you know what, since we're doing a handicap match, let's do another one tonight. It'll be Nakamura, Orton, and AJ against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Becky Lynch defeats Ruby Riott. The Bludgeon Brothers defeat the Ascension. U.S. title tournament, Mojo Rawley defeats Zack Ryder. Gable and Benjamin claim that they deserve a shot, and Daniel Bryan, or should be the champions after pinning the champions last week, but the wrong man was in. Daniel Bryan comes out and says, you know what, we're going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match at the Royal Rumble between them and the Usos. Breezango defeats Rusev Day. Styles, Orton, and Nakamura defeat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Tony, let's talk about the U.S. title tournament. You got 4 men. What is it? Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley. Who else we got?
Xavier Woods and Jinder Mahal.
Who's your pick?
Bobby Roode. I'm going with Bobby. I think it's got to be the glorious one because he died with the NXT title and everything, but now I want to see him donning the U.S. title as glorious.
Yeah, I think that's that might be a safe bet, but I think Jinder Mahal's making a good push. He will be in action next week against Xavier Woods. I think the finals it's got to be Roode and Mahal, right, going into the Royal Rumble.
It's got to be, because there's no way it's going to happen with Xavier Woods because he's headed to the Royal Rumble. Yeah,
so that was SmackDown. Anything else? I mean, Becky Lynch, she's going to be in the Royal Rumble now for the women. That women's Royal Rumble, obviously it's going to be every woman on the roster except for the women's champion. Who's the women's champion on SmackDown? Is it Charlotte? No.
Natalya.
So
Charlotte. It's Charlotte.
Is there going to be any women's title matches for the Rumble or no?
No, they're just going to sit out there and watch them. But I believe Kurt Angle Monday night was talking to one of the might-be participants might come in the Rumble as a surprise. Because the Bella Twins they'll probably induct them into the Royal Rumble at the 2 weeks at the Raw 25th anniversary show.
Yeah, that very, very true. That's probably why they're going to be there. Michelle McCool and Molly Holly being rumored. Do you like them two possibly being in this?
I want to see Michelle McCool because it would be nice to see at least some old veterans come in and get a shot at it.
Indeed. And anyone from NXT, you think?
I don't think so.
No?
Maybe one.
Okay, let's go to 205 Live. Grand Metalik defeats TJP. Jack Gallagher comes out and starts talking about how Hideo Itami hurt Brian Kendrick. That happened at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. But then they end up brawling. Itami ends up coming out. And then finally, Cedric Alexander defeats Tony Nese. We don't know when and then he does give his finisher to Enzo Amore. So Enzo looks like he's getting close to coming back. When are we going to see this Cruiserweight title match? That feels like it's taking forever to happen.
Probably at the Rumble, we're going to see it. Where it should be, I think Cornelius is going to probably make it into where Enzo has to defend it, and if he gets counted out or disqualified, he automatically loses the belt.
Okay, we'll see what happens. That's SmackDown. That's 205 Live. That is all coming here. That was all, of course. Where was SmackDown? What a place to be the night after Alabama wins the championship, and they're in the heart of it. Where's Alabama school at? It's not in Birmingham, is it?
Tuscaloosa.
How far is that from Birmingham? Do you know?
Think about a half hour.
Oh, so that's Bama country.
But next show, I like how you said Georgia was robbed.
And AJ Styles is a big Georgia fan, so.
Yeah, he's probably not happy about that TV show.
No, not at all. So that was SmackDown and 205 Live. We're going to take a time out when we come back. We're going to recap Ring of Honor and NXT. We got matches made for TakeOver Philadelphia. All that stuff. That's next on the Ringside Report. Boy, we're back here on the Ringside Report. On this date, Tony, in '98, Mark Henry joined the nation.
He turns his back on Shamrock and joins The Rock. That was the world's strongest man.
And that was when he was that's because they promoted him as the world's strongest man for such a, because he was the world's strongest man. And what year was that? Like early '90s?
Yeah, early '90s. And then he became Sexual Chocolate.
And then him and Mae Young did some loving.
Oh, good Lord.
No, you loved him. You loved yourselves. Mae Young at the Rumble 2000.
I still have goosebumps seeing it on VHS.
Oh, Smoothie. Let's recap Ring of Honor and NXT. Ring of Honor, first show back there in Philadelphia. As of course, this is their first show. This was their updated taping since Final Battle. Dalton Castle comes out with the boys and comes out and says he is finally world champion after beating Cody at Final Battle. Jay Lethal then interrupts and says, "You know why I'm out here? It's no joke. And it's no secret. I want to come out here. I want to win at the end, or I want a shot at the Ring of Honor Championship." Then you see Punishment Martinez. Then Jay Lethal or Castle says, "Okay, we'll give you the shot." But then all of a sudden, Punishment Martinez, who won the tournament, I can't think of what it's called in Ring of Honor. It was in one of their house shows. And he is guaranteed a #1 contender match. So Punishment Martinez attacks Dalton Castle. Punishment Martinez, Tony's a big boy. Survival of the Fittest is what it's called. Tony, Punishment Martinez, Jay Lethal. I might take Punishment Martinez on if them two are going to face each other.
Yeah, you just stick with the coin toss there, boy. It's gonna be an interesting.
Well, one of them guys are going to face them at the 16th anniversary. You got to think them two are a triple threat.
I think it'll probably be a triple threat match.
Silas Young retains his Ring of Honor television title against Simon Grimm, who was Simon Gotch in WWE. Beer City Bruiser was there sticking his big nose where it don't belong, as always.
Yeah, we'll see him tonight at the BCW Rise to Honor show tonight.
He'll be there. Is there any other Ring of Honor stars going to be there?
No, it's just I believe Shane Douglas is going to be there. So that's pretty much the cards mostly, but.
Okay, then we have the Briscoes get a victory, and then Marty Scurll defeats Flip Gordon, and I think a very, very entertaining match. Then NXT, we have Shayna Baszler in her debut, gets a win over Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai was in the Mae Young Classic, right? That name sounds familiar. Shayna Baszler, Tony, I'm going to admit something on this show. I might get some shit for it. I don't know what it is, Shayna Baszler to be attractive. And she looks like a man. Tony, talk me through this. Why do I think she's attractive?
I don't think Ronda Rousey is freaking hot. I think she's adorable, but...
Something about Shayna Baszler. I don't know what it is. I like the darker, the light-skinned women. I don't know what it is. I need help, Tony.
I can't help you on that one. You know the people in Chicago are like that color.
I guess... Oh boy, Tony, we're not gonna go to that one.
Look at your ex-girlfriend.
Shayna Baszler, Tony, Katie was white. Shayna Baszler's like a tanner color tint. I don't know what it's called.
Just look at Dale's daughter.
Okay, we're really gonna change lanes on. No, you're. Cassius Ohno gets a victory. Lars Sullivan gets a win over Leo Rush. Leo Rush got squashed in this match. He tweeted back in the day, or a while back, that Emma about her getting fired. Do you think this was his punishment, getting annihilated by Lars Sullivan?
Yeah, that was pretty much the interesting.
Yeah, and then finally your NXT Tag Team titles on the line. Undisputed Era were supposed to defend their titles against Sanity, but they attack Sanity before the match. Then they're like, oh, there's no one left. We might as well be done. William Regal comes out and says, let's find two guys. Roderick Strong comes out, and Aleister Black comes out. Undisputed Era gets the victory. They are still tag team champions. Then they attack Aleister Black after the match. Then William Regal announces in Philadelphia at TakeOver, the match between Aleister Black and Adam Cole will now be Extreme Rules. So in the most hardcore city, we are going to get an Extreme Rules match. Two guys that will not disappoint.
Table will be on fire, baby.
You think so?
Something's got to happen. hey, if you're born and raised in West Philadelphia,
Well, every time you say West Philadelphia, born and raised, like a playground where I spent most of my days, chilling out back and relaxing out cool and playing some b-ball outside of the school with a couple of guys that were up to no good, trying to make a trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She's like, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." We're gonna take a time out on the Ringside Report. Whew, I love dropping some lines, as the kids call it these days. Don't snort the lines, just drop the lines. Right now, Smoothie has a glove on, and I'm really not sure what's going on. But we're going to take a time out when we come back. It's time for Ringside Moment number 14. Tony, we're getting closer. It's almost here, buddy. Oh, no. I'm scared. But anyway, it's almost time. We're taking a time out when we come back. We'll talk about Ringside Report Moment number 14 when we come back. We're back here on the Ringside Report on this date, or no, happy birthday, Tony, 56th birthday to the late, great Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon, you ever see her? She was a vicious little girl.
Yes, she was. And if you had one moment, if you had one career highlight for Miss Vachon, what do you think it was? WrestleMania when she texted Sherry in Las Vegas. That's what I liked it too. The thing is, it's not on the original video footage. I think it was bonus on the videotape.
WrestleMania 10, her and Bam Bam getting a picture over the clouds.
Doink and Dink. And her relationship with Goldust was an interesting run too. That was her final run, I believe. Or no, she was with them weird guys. Who else? What were they called? With Kurgan in them? Yes, she had a good run. She had a. Wasn't she with Mark Merrill? No, she wasn't with them. No, that was Sable and Jacqueline. Never mind.
She actually married Gangrel.
In real life? Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw Gangrel last year in Nashville.
That guy is delusional. He's like the guy that reminds me of that fucking Kevin Thorne guy.
Sorry, Dale. Yeah, Kevin Thorne.
No one watches this shit. No, anyways.
Smoothie. Oh, here we go again. Okay, Tony. I forgot our last show before we went on Christmas break. It was December 15th. First off, I forgot to wear my Friday blazer. Tony forgot to remind me. And then I also forgot to even talk about our 15th best moment. We didn't even address it. We had to throw it in the show. And it was our best. Me and Brandon did a lot of handicap matches, and it was the best one, and it was Johnny Armani's handicap match, which was the first time I ever met him. I met him 2 minutes before we did that interview, and I laughed the whole time. Jonathan Michael Armani. Tony, you're very good friends with him. Talk about and he also was a big contributor to this show back in the day. I have a lot of respect for that man. Talk a little bit about Mr. Johnny Black Armani, whatever other name he has.
Mike Webb was a very, very good guy, and he's been very good, but I believe congratulations to him on his new girlfriend. I see pictures of her. Yeah, she's pretty decent, but this is decent for him now. He's got to worry about now. They got 4 kids, so.
His woman's got 4 kids?
No, she's got 2 kids, and he's got 1.
Well, that's 3, Tony.
But he was also a good man, but he just got into a lot of trouble with his mouth.
Always. Don't we all, Tony? Hence our first ever episode of the show.
I was at the POW show last Saturday.
Yeah.
Last Saturday at Franklin Park.
Yeah.
I won the 50-50 for the second time.
Why weren't they in Fox Lake?
Because they had a festival going on. Something was going on that night. I don't know what it was.
Okay, continue.
But guess who ring announced that night?
I thought I saw pictures. Was it Vincent Stone? Good for him.
Vincent Stone's going to ring announce a couple of matches, a couple of shows. Riccolo is coming back in February, so February 3rd, mark your day down with X-Con and Riccolo.
You know, I missed the Vincent Stone era of CCW. He was before my time. I got Riccolo, and then I got Johnny Black.
Yeah, it was. Vincent Stone was a good ring announcer.
I remember his purple suit, though.
Yeah, but it's going to be decent with Riccolo coming back with that music, and it's like...
Is Ruff back for good? Or just...
Ruff is back.
Good.
So he's back for good.
It's awesome.
So,
good to hear. I'm glad to see the old school guys coming back, because that's when that company was. I mean, I miss everyone there. I wish them the best, and I think that's the best thing for POW.
Quickly before we go to the next thing, a little bit of prayers to a friend of mine from Elk Grove Village. Her name's Kelsey Broderick. She married her sweetheart.
What's wrong with her?
This yesterday or Wednesday, her daughter was at grade school. Someone smacked her in the face with the door. She's got a bruise above her eye. Mom is pissed. She's okay, but she's pretty pissed off about the school, how the student swung the door in the face. When you walk in the doors, be very careful walking in the doors.
Yes, best wishes out to her.
What's number 14, by the way?
Oh, yeah, let's go to it. Tony, this is a part 1 of a 3-piece series. One of the biggest feuds, because the top one we'll be addressing later in our countdown, and that was with me and Mr. Team Suck It. But this one was between Brandon James got hit into a bunch of trouble when he was here. And our first time was sickening. This was when we started with a wrestling company in up northern Wisconsin. I can't think of the name of it right now. But this is when Brandon James got into it with Steve Doris. And Steve Doris, if you've ever seen him, the man's like a walking billboard. And then Brandon, who was on this roll, this was a 0.1% and all that stuff. And then I thought we had this thing right down the middle. I was in Doris's corner. You had Brandon what?
That wasn't Northern Wisconsin. That was Grant Park.
That was the second one. That was the second one. That's next week, Tony. First one.
No, the first one was down. The first one was down South Illinois because I was coming back from the Cubs game when you showed me.
That's right. It's in Illinois. Never mind. It wasn't in Wisconsin. It was at that campground. Anyway, it was outside.
Yeah.
We were a part of the show. It was Brandon with. What the hell's his name? What the hell's his name? No.
Brian?
No, what the hell's the guy?
Ivan Manson.
Yeah, him and
Manson?
what's the manager? I can't think of his name.
Charlie Jr.
Yeah, how can I forget that? It was Brandon with Charlie Jr. It was me with Scott Doris. This was the first installment. First of 3 weeks, so we're going to show you this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Doris, Brandon, let's go to Grant Park. And moment number 14 here on the Ringside Report.
To introduce to you a man who is gonna totally embarrass, disgrace, and break the arm of the overgrown cream puff, Steve Doris. I give you the 100% owner of the Ringside Report, Brandon.
Come on, make some noise!
Yeah!
Make some noise, you mindless pawns!
Yeah!
You're pathetic!
I haven't watched this choke right here.
Yeah, I call the 3-year-old pathetic, so what? Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring,
Boo!
Steve, the man Doris, with Solo!
What's going down?
Elbow keeps raising.
Yes,
Come on,
it does.
Brandon.
She's right.
Right there.
Come on, she's right. Come on, Steve. You got this.
Steve.
Come on, Steve.
Go, Steve.
Come on. Oh, come on, he's got it. Steve. Take a deep breath and put it down.
Steve.
Oh, come on. No way. It did.
I have it on video for you in the replay.
What's that elbow? Come on now.
Come on, Steve.
Turn it.
Come on, Steve. Come on.
Come on, Steve. Put it down, Steve.
It's the full corner, don't let me down.
Let's go. Come on, Steve. There you go.
Come
it for all of us. What happened?
Ryan, you dirty rat.
I can't see.
What the heck happened?
Come on. No.
Oh, shit!
Come on.
That's how you do it. That's what you get. This is crazy. Unbelievable. The way we roll. Come on now.
Tony, that was despicable. You saw frickin' Brian Bennett sprayed the mist in Doris's face. Ivan Manson completely walloped Steve Doris in the back. Tony, the first match did not go exactly the way the arm wrestling match didn't go as planned. I was pissed. Oh my God, was I pissed off. Oh.
It led up to when that happened. It was right after weeks after the POW show where I got fired, humiliated, publicly fired by Brandon James. I wanted to sock Pee Wee in the face, but I should have. But it was pretty much the end of pretty much the 0.1%. But hey, later on that 3-part series, we got our revenge. We got it.
Yes, we did. Okay, now we're gonna be next week. We're gonna have part 2 when we were in Illinois as well, and it was a rematch. It was supposed to be Brandon, but his arm was injured, and he was facing.
Basketball accident.
Yeah, no, he is an accident. His dad should have left him in a napkin. So, so it'll be next week. We'll have part 2 of a 3-part series. The main event was me against Brandon, but next week it's Brandon one more time against Steve Doris. Stay tuned next week. It's going to be exciting. Tony, have a great weekend. Preview for Monday. We're going to recap Impact, preview Raw and SmackDown. Where we got Raw and SmackDown from this week?
I believe somewhere. I think it's close to.
Oh, I just saw. Oh, San Antonio for Raw.
The Houston for SmackDown.
Oh, so Houston, we have a problem. Okay, folks, everyone have a great weekend. Tony, you have a great weekend. I don't want to see you on live PD at all.
See you later, man.
For the King of Controversy, I'm Ryan Jensen. Thank you for watching the Ringside Report, your front row seat to all things wrestling.